Hello friends, welcome to the next video by William Shakespeare on Friends and Flatterers. In this video, it is important for you to note the difference between the friends and flatterers that the poet has highlighted here. So, this simple poem has been explained more carefully in details by me, and I hope when you are appearing for your exams, you will not face much difficulty in understanding and analyzing the text and writing your answers. So without much ado, let's delve deep into the poem at the outset. Everyone that flatters thee is no friend in misery. Words are easy like the wind. Faithful friends are hard to find. So here the poet is telling that everyone that utters false praises to you is not your friend in hard times, in your crisis. Words are easy like the wind. Like the air or the wind, one breathes easily. For the flatterers, the fake words are easy as the wind. There is no need to work hard for it, because you do not work hard to breathe in the air. I am talking about the people who breathe in normally without any medical conditions. So for them, the flatterers, these words, utterances of these false or the fake words are very easy. Faithful friends are hard to find. The honest, loyal or the true friends are very difficult to find. Here you will note that in this stanza, Shakespeare has used simile. Here words have been compared to wind. Every man will be thy friend, whilst thou hast wherewith to spend. But if store of crowns be scant, no man shall supply thy want. So here what Shakespeare is telling is that every man will be your friend as long as you have the means to spend. So thy means your. While you have the means or the money to spend, they will be your friend. They will stay in your company. But if you have feeble means, if your means decreases, if you lose out on your money, crowns refer to the old form of currency that was used in Britain. So, but if you have feeble means, if you have less amount of money, no man shall supply thy want. No one will provide you with money or support you in any way when you are in need. This will happen only when you are in company of the flatterer. So, thy want here refers to your need. In other words, the flatterers will evaluate friendship and your worth solely on the basis of money. If that one be prodigal, so prodigal here refers to one who wastes money without giving any second thought to the future. So bountiful they will call him, and with such like flattering, pity but he were a king. So they will sing praises for the bad habits. In these two lines, you will note that the poet tries to tell that a pseudo or a flatterer will lead you from bad to worse habits, because they are there with you, they are staying in your company solely for their selfish needs, for their satisfying their selfish wants. So they will lead you eventually from bad to worse habits. Thinking them, you will automatically be led because you think the flatterers, the pseudos, the fake friends to be the real ones. Pity, but he were a king. People flatter their prodigal friends by saying that they are sorry he is not a king. They repeatedly say that such qualities as his could be found only in kings. So they will tell many things just to win praises, just to win favors from the person they are in company with. Now you may ask that in the final line of the third stanza, pity but he were a king. If a person is a king, why is he to be pitied? So it is important that you note that if a person is a king, he is to be pitied because he does not realize that he is not a king in real sense, but he is being addressed so by the flatterers for their selfish motives, as he has surplus money to spend on them. The moment he loses money, they will also leave his company and disappear, as we will see in the following stanzas. So let's now move on to stanza 4. But if fortune once do frown, then farewell his great renown. They that fawned on him before, use his company no more. So, if fortune, by chance, fortune or luck, once is disappointed, once gets angry on that person, because it may happen that due to the highs and the lows of life, luck may turn against one, and then these flatterers will desert us. Then farewell his great renown. So, with the turning against of the fortune for that person, he or she will lose all fame due to bad luck. So, renown here refers to fame. That person will lose all his fame due to bad luck. They that fawned on him before, those flatterers who flattered him before, use his company no more. It clearly shows that they were only interested in money of that person. Once he runs out of money, he no longer has sufficient means to spend on them, leading them to abandon him. So that is their sole aim, to extract money, to satisfy their selfish motives, intentions from that person, without realizing what harm they are actually doing to him. He that is thy friend. So the person here refers to who is going to be a good friend, or the person who is your good friend. One thing you will notice that in this increasing rise of feminism debates and feministic theories, Shakespeare had no intention of having any gender bias, or he did not write this keeping in view that it has to be a male friend solely. He refers to the person. It may be a girl, it may be a boy, it may be a man, it may be a woman. So the person who is your friend indeed, who is your true friend, he will help you in your need. If thou sorrow, he will weep. If you are worried, if you are in grief, he will weep, he will equally be worried with you. If thou wake, he cannot sleep. The true friend will also be distressful like you, and spend equally sleepless nights with you. When you cannot sleep, he will also be worried, distressed, and spend sleepless nights along with you. So what do we notice in this fifth stanza is that the qualities of a real friend are highlighted. Now moving towards the end of the poem, the final or the sixth stanza. Thus of every grief in heart, he with thee doth bear apart. These are certain signs to know, faithful friend from flattering foe. So every little sadness that we have in our heart, be it in our times of crisis, be it in our hard times, the real friend with you will always bear a part, does always bear a part. In other words, he will be and play an important part in your life. He will not desert you in your hard times. So the adage that goes, a friend in need is a friend indeed, he will stand by that. These are certain signs to know. So the Shakespeare concludes towards the end of the poem that these are the certain ways, the certain signs and symbols by which you can clearly understand that that person is your true friend. Faithful friend from flattering foe means by following these signs you will clearly be able to distinguish from a flattering friend from a flattering foe. And in the final line he ends very strongly by the usage of alliteration, where we see the repetition of the words or of the letter F 4 times together. Faithful friend from flattering foe, 5 times in fact. So a person flattering foe refers to a person who flatters you for his selfish need. Now you will see that there is a marked difference between the sincere appreciation of a faithful friend and the artificial flattering of a foe. A true friend is like a solitaire. It is not easy to find a true friend because in this world we come across many people who pretend to be nice to us. By flattering us, they remain our friend, but that is only for temporary reasons, for satisfying his own needs. They are pretentious, they are selfish, and they leave us as soon as our treasures are over, as soon as they have satisfied their needs, they have extracted the money for which they wanted our company. But a true friend is like a shadow of our own. They do not possess any hollow or selfish values like the flatterers. He or she will always be with us through thick and thin. He will not praise us falsely. If we are spending prodigally, if we are prodigal, then he or she will stop us and correct us for our errors. He will be happy when we are happy and depressed when we are sad. He will tell our mistakes in a fearless manner without caring whether he is rude or not. He will make us understand the importance or the value of money, not praising us falsely that being spendthrift or being bountiful only suits a king, and I or that person whom that flatterer is flattering, that person is or deserves to be a king. So he will not think of those words. He will always be with us in our times of need, and these are the qualities that a true friend possesses, which we must keep in mind in our times when people are changing so much, having the double standards or dualities in their character. So it is high time that we follow what Shakespeare is telling and treasure our true friends, as they are hard or very rare to find, as we have already seen the poet mentioning in the very first stanza of the poem. So that brings us to the end of the poem. Hope you will find this video to be very interesting. If you have any doubt, feel free to ask me in the comment section. Until then, goodbye. Wait for the next video. And once again, I would like to thank you for your support. Hopefully you will be supporting me for the upcoming videos too. Do stay tuned for the further updates, and don't forget to like, share or subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching this video. Happy learning.